So thank you for joining us. Telling Tall Tales the Right Way. So RITE. See what I did there? Okay. I'm your host, Heather Asianbi. I am the editor of several best-selling adult nonfiction books. I've also edited dozens of children's books. They are a joy. I am a certified master storyteller, and I've been telling stories like for years and years as a reporter, a content marketer, and a public relations person. I'm also, I may or may not also be in the midst of writing a book, but that's a story for a different day. It's nonfiction. Today, I'm excited because I have the illustrious and amazing Mr. DaJuan Johnson with me. He is a Daytime Emmy nominated actor. He has been on some of my favorite shows, Grey's Anatomy, Agent Carter. So like I'm gonna start telling people that you're part of the Marvel universe. And what else were you? Suits, you had a guest starring story, and then you had a reoccurring role on Bosch for 7 seasons, plus then you were part of like their reboot last year for a little bit. Bosch is a great show. First of all, as soon as I found out, I didn't watch it when it was on the first time, but then when I found out you were a reoccurring actor on it, I'm like, oh my God, now I have to watch, right? Because I only wanted to see you.
So, did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy it? I mean, you got
I did. The storytelling was amazing.
Yeah, good.
The storytelling is amazing. So the reason I asked Juan to be here today is we both love TV. I mean, as an actor, obviously he loves, he'll TVs, movies, the whole thing, like, and stage, right? He's done all of them. But I love TV. I might have an addiction to scripted television, but I don't feel like it's a problem. So there will be no 12-step program in my future for that. So we're not going to talk about how often I watch TV. But we also have a love for great stories. And one of the things that we both recently watched was Shogun. Now, Shogun was originally produced back in like 1980 or something like that. I remember my mom was super into it because Richard Chamberlain played the Anjin, and which in Japanese means outsider or savage, I believe. And so the Japanese called this Englishman Anjin. And of course, because anybody back then who was not European was considered uncivilized and savage. So he also felt the same way. Anyway, all that to say, Shogun has been remade on Hulu FX, and it is majestic storytelling. Like in these, I feel like just the scenes and the sets and just the whole atmosphere of bringing feudal Japan to life is incredible. But the storytelling is why I wanted you to join me, because we both had the same reaction to episode 9. We both, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God.
Why wasn't I warned?
But we were warned. I mean, we were. We were warned. So tell me, what was it about this series in particular that drew you to it? Why did you stick with it?
I think, first of all, thank you for the lovely introduction, and thank you for having me here. I'll go wherever you tell me to go, Heather. It's so wonderful. The thing, I was actually looking for something new to watch, and I, just like we do, I posted on Facebook, hey, what do people want? What's out there? And several people said Shogun. So I was like, great, I'll give it a try. And I gave it a try, and I was instantly pulled into the scenes, right? Like you're saying, the scenery is beautiful, the sets were beautiful, everything was beautiful, and it really was like, oh, this is gorgeous. But what kept me there was the story. Yeah. What kept me there was the character development within the story. And I have to say, I don't know what's going to come next, because I wasn't privy to, Shogun back in the 80s, what you were saying. Like I'm real time in it right now. But the story just kept having different twists and turns with me. First of all, I thought it was fully going to be about the engine, I thought I thought we were going to get a classic story of, maybe somebody who's coming in from a different country and possibly colonizing. I thought that was going to be the story. And it wasn't, it was not. And then, so I want to use her real name in this, Mariko. Maybe I'm saying it wrong.
No, I think that's right. Lady Mariko. Yeah.
But Lady Mariko, when it came out about him and about the other guy, gosh, I'm forgetting his name because I don't want to say it wrong.
The Lord.
Yes, the leader. The one they were all following. Lady Mariko was following. Mariko was following. Yeah. And I don't want to say it wrong because I don't want to butcher the language. I was just pulled in, and you might be thinking like, oh, why he's on every cover of the billboard or everything, like why not? But again, I thought it was going to be a classic story, and it was not. And once I was in it, I was like, oh, this is so good.
Yeah. So when I talk about stories as part of the show, like what I talk about is like the elements of every great story, because it doesn't matter what story it is. It could be a children's story, it could be an adult story, it doesn't matter. They're all the same, right? So, and character arcs, character development is one of those elements, right? And so what we get is, so women occupy and I didn't do a whole lot of research into feudal Japan to understand the hierarchies of all this, right?
Yeah.
But as in most cultures, women don't have a lot of rights or a lot of agency. Women are considered more like servants or, consorts and support for the men to do what they're going to do. Lady Mariko, why she's unique. So, okay, first of all, spoiler alerts. We're just going to just be prepared. Okay. Lady Mariko is considered special because she converts to Christianity and she's fluent in Portuguese. Now, why that's important is because Portugal and Spain, England, and France, I believe, were the four big countries back, so this takes place in 1600.
Right.
1600, right. So basically what happened is Europe, with the caucasity of Europeans, divided the world, literally drew a line down the world and said, whichever places are not currently Christian, we're going to go in and we're going to make them Christian. And it was kind of a battle between Catholics and Protestants. So up to this point, Catholics have been Catholic priests and bishops and whoever else have come to Japan, and they're making a fortune off of trading with Japan, but they've kind of been keeping Japan a secret, which is why when the Protestants show up on the ship, they're like, oh damn. Yeah. Now the Protestants know where we are, right? So Lady Mariko's case is very unique in that she has converted to Catholicism and she's learned Portuguese. So when John Blackthorne, who's the engine, his ship is discovered, everybody's dead except for him and 10 other dudes, and they of course are disgusting. They smell, they've got disease, all the things, right?
They're hungry. They're hungry. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Right. So when they're discovered and it's discovered that they can speak Portuguese, now Lady Mariko is brought in to be the translator. Okay, that's how she gets involved in all of this.
Yeah.
What is interesting about her story arc, though, as we learn through episodes 1 through 8, and a little bit, I think, in episode 9, is that she's from a shamed family, and shame is a big deal. Like if you do something shameful according to the culture, you basically have to kill yourself.
I might say disgraced family, right?
Yes.
That's what I would say.
Yes. So we see several instances where individuals have disgraced themselves and their family name. Mariko's family is considered disgraced because her father assassinated the former emperor of Japan. We don't know why. We really don't know why. We never find out actually why. We don't find out why, do we?
I think it was like an uprising. They just wanted, no, I don't remember that being a thing.
Yeah, I don't remember, but so her family's disgraced because her father murdered the former emperor. And all she wants to do is die with her family. She wants to die so that she can be back with her family. So episodes 1 through 8 were like her husband is a terrible person. Anyway.
I think he had a great arc though. I think if you want to talk about a character arc, I think they did a phenomenal job making you like this dislikable character. So if you talk about arcs, you think about like he just wanted to love her. She never gave him anything. And like she wanted permission for him to say, kill yourself. Like, sorry, trigger warning there. Like, I felt like, and the way he just journeyed, there was a beautiful scene. Sorry to like jump in there, but there was a beautiful scene, Heather, where they're in the they're having, which would be modern day couples time or a retreat or like, marriage time away to like prepare your marriage. They're inside of this little space and she basically tells him, I've been dead with you. I'm done with you for so long. And then the camera goes, she leaves and he stays on him and he just starts crying. And I was like, you're still an ass, but I still.
Well, because you're right. That was beautiful. And you're not wrong. But he also plays into the whole, you're from a disgraced line. I can't believe I had to marry you kind of a thing, right? Like he makes her feel like crap.
Yeah. You don't think it comes back around, Heather, where he was saying, I really just loved you and I tried to give you everything. And that was like his defense in a way. Oh, guys, by the way, I'm not mansplaining this. I really agree with you, Heather. I was just seeing it as like God, like he just wanted love. And it just was like,
buy that for $1. I could buy that for $1.
I'm a hopeless romantic. They got me.
I don't think you're wrong about his arc because then in the season finale, he divests himself, he puts his weapons down and he joins in, right? He's he's a team player. He wants, he's going to help Toranaga fight the regents, right? Which, I mean, we could go into a whole other thing. Anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. So Mariko and John Blackthorne, the ancient, are kind of a team and they do have like a romantic thing going on. Although I think for her, she sees him more as like release and distraction and not, he feels like he's clearly like over the moon for her, right? Like he clearly is like, I would die for you. And, I really think that he would, because when she decided, okay, so here we go. Through the whole series up until episode 9 and even a little bit through it, we get flashbacks of Mariko's life where she has actively attempted to take her life to be with her family, her father, her brother, I assume her mom as well, right? Like she's actively trying to take her life because her family line is disgraced. Lord Toranaga, who is her liege lord, won't let her do it. Husband won't let her do it. Like you're too valuable to this to the movement. You're too valuable to like getting rid of these corrupt regents. We can't let you go. It's not going to happen. And so, and I can't pronounce his name, but he's the other guy.
Ishido?
No, not Ishido, because he's the one of the regents. No, the guy who betrays them.
Oh, Kashagi.
Kashagi. Right? Thank you, Kashagi. So when
guys, I have a list up now because I didn't want to mess it up and I feel so embarrassed.
I had a list up too, but so full disclosure, we're recording this and my computer is acting a fool. So DaJuan is helping me out by having the list on his side. So say it again, Kashigi.
It's Kashigi.
Kashigi.
Right.
Okay. So Lord Kashigi, also a feudal lord. However, Lord Toranaga's above him, right? Like in the hierarchy of things. Toranaga's at the top, and then he's got some lords underneath him, and then the people. So Kashigi is promised land and I don't know, some other crap that people think is valuable back then, to betray Lord Toranaga to kill Lady Mariko. They come in, they try to, they're chasing them through the compound, I guess. I don't know what to call it.
Yeah, that's good.
Compound. The Anjin and Kashigi now, who is trying to play off like this is all a surprise for him. I know, right? Massive eye roll. They all like rescue the women, including Mariko and some other women, and then they find themselves encased in a room. It's like a storeroom, right? Like, don't you think it was more like a pantry or something? I don't know what it was.
It felt like it was like a artillery room too, like, or something was was in there. Yeah.
So it was like a storeroom of some kind, and they figure out that the invaders, for lack of a better word, from the regents, because it's the regents who have arranged this whole thing, because they want to overthrow Lord Toranaga. They hear the troops outside and that they're going to blow the door. They're going to blow the door and kill everybody inside. And
I'm just going to pause you for one quick second, just to add a little piece there.
Yeah,
that
please.
The regents were there to kill Lady Mariko because she pushed the envelope and said, I wanted to leave the place. It wasn't just to kill Toranaga, or they could have gone for him, but Lady Mariko made herself a martyr, or made herself a symbol, they thought, because she said, I want to leave the, let's just call it a castle in middle Japan. So that's important, because Toranaga was already said to be on his way. Well, he was going to go after his son's I don't want to call it passing, but we want to make sure that Lady Toranaga pushed that envelope there. There's a small distinction I wanted to add there too.
You're right. You're absolutely right. So the castle is in Osaka.
Osaka, yes.
Okay, so the castle's in Osaka. Toranaga lives somewhere else.
Mm-hmm.
Lady Mariko and the Anjin were sent there to kind of be like envoys for Lord Toranaga until he could get there, because he was dealing with his son's very unexpected death. I mean, Anyway, and so it's a thing. Like, you have to watch the show. Everybody, please watch the show. It's amazing. But you see, there's all these like converging storylines. It's hard for us to keep like just one through line, because everything truly is, it is interconnected, and you can't have something over here happen without it affecting something over here or over here or over here, right? Like, it's all, which is kind of the mastery of the storytelling, right? Because you're here, there, and everywhere, but it all comes together no matter what's happening. And so they're at the castle. They're not really being held prisoner, but they kind of are. And that's when Lady Mariko's like, well, what do you mean we can't leave? We're gonna leave. I'm gonna take Lord Toranaga and his wives. They have multiple wives. And we're gonna go. We're gonna go. And they're like, well, you don't have permission. And she's like, I didn't realize I was a prisoner here. And that's when she throws down the gauntlet, right? Yes. She's like, right, if I'm not a prisoner and you won't let me leave, but you also won't let me carry out what my Lord has brought me here to do, then I have no choice but to kill myself, because now I am disgraced. Right. And now everybody's losing their shit, because they don't know what to do. They're like, oh my God, we can't let her die by her own hand, but we can't necessarily like come on in and kill her.
In Osaka. They can't do it in Osaka. Right.
Yeah, we can't just kill her. Mm-hmm. But like, now what do we do? So now they've decided to, I don't know, were they trying to make it look like it was like thieves in the night?
Yes.
Or something that were like, yeah. Okay, because that's what I was just like, how do you think you're gonna get away with this? Like,
well, remember they got in the back door. They came in the back door. They were let in by this. Yeah. But I'm just saying, like, so that's how they were making this, painting it a picture like that. It was very clear that they couldn't kill her on that because they were going to martyr her. But like this, I think the beautiful story part about all of this that I loved was the reveal of Lady Mariko's dad had always made her a part of this journey, made her a part of this process, right? She didn't know that. So she had to go there, and it was her way of killing herself that she gets to start this whole movement. She is like the Lady Troy of that day. What is
Oh,
not Lady,
yeah.
not Lady Troy, the
Helen,
Trojan horse. You
the
know what I
Trojan
mean? Helen,
Helen.
yes.
Yeah.
It was like all of that was, this all gets started because of her. And I thought it was just so beautiful that we kept hearing about all of this the whole season. And then we're like, oh, this is how it all gets started. Oh, she gets to also get her death in here as well. Oh, this starts the Shogun and the Scarlet, what is it? Scarlet Way or River? I can't remember what it's called.
Crimson
Sky.
Sky. Yes.
Yes, Crimson Sky. Yeah. And so it was really beautiful to watch that as they got into that storage room. I did not think, I actually thought to myself two things, if I can share that real quick.
Yeah, please,
I actually thought to myself, as an actor, I knew that the actress Lady Mariko was also on another show as a regular.
Yeah, the Monster
Yeah,
show.
Monarch.
It's so
And
good.
so and they got a second season. And so, but she was also with this one. And so me as an actor, I was like, how is she going to pull both of these off? I know behind scenes, you can't do those. I was like, this is it. And so I thought, well, of course she's going to die, right? That's what I thought. But then, so I came into this thinking that she was going to die. But then the reveal here, Heather, is, remember, they made it through all of that.
They did.
And then they were right. They made it through it all. They were having adult time on the floor with John or Jack or John
Blackthorne, the engine.
John Blackthorne. And then I thought, like, great, we're good. I was like, well, here's what I thought. She's gonna do both shows.
Well, yeah,
and then it all hell breaks loose. So for me, the storytelling was so beautiful in the sense of, you even gave me a false ending in the middle of your thing that I thought was gorgeous. Then you took my hope. So the big reveal for me was like, what? I'm not okay, because you took me to this space and this place of, this is great. The world's good. It was chaotic. Everybody's going to wreck the world, but it didn't happen. Yay. And then the last 5 minutes was like, no.
Okay. So
you like that? I wanted to just bring that to you.
Yeah, okay. So I wasn't even thinking about it from the acting standpoint, even though I love her as an actress, because I also watched the Monarch show, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But
she's better in this one. She's better in Shogun.
I don't disagree with you, because she's a little like in the Monarch one. I wanted to kind of smack her character around a little. Go ahead. But anyway, Lady Mariko is a badass. Oh my God, she's a badass. So I also thought, okay, well, they're in this room. And then even though I hear she's like, they're going to blow the door. I was like, but they can't get away with that. Right. Like, there's no way, because they can blow the door. But as they come in, Kashigi, because now he's like, so Lord Kashigi, right. He betrays them and lets these people in to kill everybody. And then he realizes, oh my God, I can't, I think something flipped in him where he was like, my ambition is not worth this.
No, he didn't think that was going to happen. They told him, right. Yeah, you're right.
They fed him a line of crap. And then when he sees what's going on, he's like, what I want is not worth this. Like, this is not okay. And so what I'm thinking is, they're going to blow the door, and they're going to come in, and him and John are just going to cut them down as they come through the door, because even though they're kind of backed into this room, they really kind of have a little bit of a tactical advantage. Now, this is right. Like, I know anything about battle. I mean, this is from me watching movies and TV, right? Like, I know nothing, but this is just from my cinematic television experience, right? They're coming through the door, they can be cut down, and then, whatever happens. But like you, I didn't think that was going to happen. So this is what happened, people. Mariko stands in front of the door. They blow the door. She dies. That's the end of the episode.
Listen, that was sad, but let's put a little bit more tension into this. Like that she wasn't at the door first, and then she comes back to the door and she says her goodbyes. And then the way the episode cuts is we don't know if she died or not. Right?
That is a very good point. That was classic cliffhanger moments.
It was, and I was like, are we gonna go back next week? I was like, she lived. She had to have lived. But guess what? I mean, you're right. At the end, you're right. But that moment on episode 9 was not what we,
You're right.
I just want to make sure we put.
Yeah, you're right. They come into the room, they have a conversation. Oh, they're gonna do this, they're gonna do this. And she's like, and she doesn't she say it from like I'll do this because I'll protect you.
Like finally will be done. Yes. Yes.
I'll take the blow.
Mm-hmm.
And I can finally be done with this life. And she basically does say her goodbyes, and then she stands in front of the door. And
I mean, come on.
when you posted that on Facebook, oh my God, I was like, give me a minute. I gotta catch up. Because I was on like episode 7 or something, and I'm like, oh shit, I gotta catch up with him so I can talk about this because oh my God.
Yeah. I think again, I think you make some great points, and anybody watching this and watching the show is just the character build up of her. Like I did not expect in probably 8 going into 9 that she was going to be such a badass fighter,
She's a
right?
fighter.
I mean, do you know what I mean? I didn't expect that. And the reveals of her were great. The sisterhood that she had in there, they just laid beautiful, I guess at the end of the day, we had a lot of clues that she was going to die. I just wasn't ready, I guess. I didn't think that they were going to, I don't know that we had clues, but she did though. I mean, we look back at it.
Yes, I think that they laid the groundwork so well that her death should not have come as a surprise, but it didn't lack any less of a punch.
There you go. Beautifully said.
No, I still was, I like when, and then when episode 10 opens, and I'm sorry, but the cinematography of that was gorgeous.
Yes, it's gorgeous.
I mean, the smoke clearing, and it's silent, it's silent, but not, there's like muffled noises, almost as if, like when you have your hands over your ears kind of a thing, yes. Right? Mm-hmm. And then it opens and he's just bent over her. And I was just
yeah. It was very interesting. The whole thing about like, very stereotypical about what I'm going to say. So I apologize, but just the way I think is like, they have assassins or quote unquote ninjas, if you will, in that. I think what the cultural reference there is there was so much done in secrecy. And there was so much done behind with you didn't, you're not supposed to see an assassin, or you're not supposed to see a ninja, and it was just, and I don't know if that, you have to help me, Heather, if that word's not appropriate. I don't know if we can say ninja anymore, but I think we can.
Well, I mean, so the costuming was very classic that you would have as a ninja dressing right? Black hoods, only the eyes are visible, black over. They're all dressed in black. They have multiple swords on them and other weaponry that they can wield, right? So I do think that is, I don't know the proper term, but
I think we'll go with that. But I just think that was such a beautiful reveals of everything like that we've been leading up. There were so many twists and turns in this story that they were telling, that they were laying out there. And, I think you used the word caucasity, but I haven't heard it in a long time. I just really appreciated that this story did not focus there. I really appreciated that it stayed very true. It did not, it was all subtitled. You know what I mean? It was sweet,
I think that's another thing people need to know, right? Is that, so when the Anjin and Mariko are or any of the Catholic priests, when they're speaking in Portuguese, they speak in English.
Yes.
So, but when they are speaking Japanese, it is in Japanese and it is subtitled.
Yeah.
Like, and that to me was beautiful.
It was right. It was gorgeous. It was just a gorgeous piece to it. And, and just like, one more thing I would love to point out to your listeners is just that the bond that Toranaga had with Lady Mariko almost felt very paternal. It felt very paternal.
I thought
you don't think so?
Paternal. No, I absolutely thought so. I thought that, and they didn't really show this, but I felt like when her father was executed, he stepped in.
Yes.
Kind of like raised her up. Yes. And he made sure she was trained as a warrior.
All of it.
He made sure, which is why her loyalty was so complete. Why, when he sent her to Osaka, and he was like, I need you to do this for me. He didn't really even have to talk about what it was. She was like, okay, I'm going.
She was. And she said to John Blackstone, at one point, I think it was episode 9 or 2, that, he was like, please don't do this. Please don't be a martyr. Please don't kill yourself over this. Please don't do it. And she said something to the effect of, you still don't get it. This is about like honor. This is about, and I was just like, oh, she's so amazing. It's just a really good. So
I'm sorry. Did you know this is all based on a true story?
I did not know this. I mean, I love it even more now.
It's all based on a true story. Like, it's all based on a very specific snapshot of time in feudal Japan where and obviously not according to exactly how the show was made or the book was written, because this is based on a book that was written.
I didn't know that.
50 years ago, right? Whatever. And to the shock of probably everyone, I'm not going to read the book. So just letting it, not read it. Mostly because I don't want it to color how I feel about the show.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. Or I don't want the show to color how I might read the book. But also I'm a little concerned because the book was written by a white dude. And I do feel like probably the book has a lot of maybe like white saviorism going on. And I don't necessarily like, I don't know that that's an assumption. I could be wrong, but I don't necessarily want to read that because, like you said, the show does not focus on the engine. He's more a tool of Lord Toranaga so that Lord Toranaga can get what he wants. He's not the focus. He's just a supporting player.
That's funny you said it that way, Heather, and I think it's so beautiful. There isn't the white savior. I think almost the way they flip that is Lady Mariko becomes the savior here. Because remember all the stuff she does behind closed doors to make sure that John is great, to make sure she saves John. She saves Toranaga. She saves, the other in Osaka, the head lady who comes out of the woodwork.
Oshino.
Yeah, like all of this is played by, so there isn't a white savior comp here, and I would say it almost was like a C storyline for me, like not even a B story, but a C storyline for me because it was so beautifully done by those people. Then we had Kashiga doing their stuff. Then we had that story, which was a beautiful love story, by the way. It was a very simple love story. And I got early on in episode 2 or 3, I got the concubine or the consort, I think they called them. I got them confused, and I didn't know that was Lady Mariko that had come in. I'll just say that.
Oh, so I think I knew right away it was her.
I did not. It was very dim. It was very dim, and I didn't want to be racist. And I was like, I'm just gonna.
No, I knew right away that it was her who came in because, he was so shocked. He was like, oh, and then she had to be the initiator.
Yeah.
Right. Cause then he was like, oh, well, all right then.
Yeah.
So, but then the next morning she was like, did you enjoy your courtesan? That's what they are.
Courtesan.
He said, did you enjoy your courtesan? And he was like, yes, I did.
Right. Because it was like, but it was like that. It felt like it was third person. So I was like, well, maybe it isn't. Maybe.
No, that was her trying to be coy because she didn't want everybody to know, she wanted to, so anyway, well, thank you. Thank you for joining me today. This was an amazing conversation. I really appreciate you so much. Yeah. And everyone, thank you for tuning in. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon, whenever you catch this.
Good day.
This is DaJuan Johnson, who is an amazing actor and a phenomenal human being. So,
Yeah.
and if you are an actor, I just want to tell you now, he has a whole business around helping you be great. And so you should find him, DaJuanJohnson.com. There you go.
Yeah. Thank you so very much. Thank you for having me so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, take care. Bye.